Welcome back to the IBFP. Here's your host, Boxing New.
Tim Bradley says Jermall Charlo is a more credible opponent for Canelo Alvarez than Dimitri Bivol. And look, let's break it down honestly and objectively as possible. And Tim the Hater Bradley is at it again. And this time he's come out and stated, I wanted to see Canelo Alvarez against Jermall Charlo. I thought that would be an interesting matchup. As far as credibility goes, Jermall Charlo has more credibility. He's a champion in 2 weight classes, and I thought it would have been interesting to see him against that kind of guy that can punch and is dangerous as Charlo is with his championship experience. So basically, he's saying that Jermall Charlo is a more credible opponent for Canelo Alvarez because he can punch and because he's a 2-weight world champion. But when you look at Jermall Charlo, you see he won his first world title at 54 against Cornelius Bundrich, who was 42 years old. Beating up an old man makes you a more credible opponent. And then when he had a chance to fight Canelo Alvarez in 2019 to make himself the real WBC champion at 160 pounds, he rejected the offer. But that makes him a more credible opponent. I mean, even Tim Bradley goes on to state that, Jermall Charlo is a guy that can punch and is dangerous. But can Jermall Charlo really punch? I mean, this is a guy who went the distance with a certified paletero and Juan Macias Montiel. Now, here's the funny thing about that. Jaime Munguia got rid of this guy early. But we call Jermall Charlo some elite, dangerous puncher. This is the same Jermall Charlo who went the distance with Brandon Adams, whom he pulled up from 154 pounds. But this is some elite puncher? I mean, come on, let's make it make sense. Dimitri Bivol, on the other hand, has knocked out light heavyweights, a weight class Jermall Charlo has never fought in. And yet, Jermall Charlo's getting credit for being some dangerous puncher for going the distance with guys that he pulls up from 154 like Brandon Adams. Make it make sense. Not only that, Dimitri Bivol has never had a controversial fight. Never. He's won all of his fights clearly. Jermall Charlo, on the other hand, most people felt like he lost to Matt Korobov. That was a very highly controversial fight. And Jermall Charlo was actually quoted as saying after the fight that this was his hardest fight on record, was Matt Korobov. The same fight that many people felt like he lost, and Matt Korobov still claims he beat Jermall Charlo. You don't have that with Dimitri Bivol. I mean, come on. And not only that, we've also seen that Jermall Charlo's protected. We've seen him turn down a Canelo fight, a Demetrius Andre fight, a Danny Jacobs fight, and a David Benavidez fight. So what are we talking about? More credibility. We understand that Tim the Hater Bradley is saying and doing anything just to try to discredit the face of boxing in Saul Canelo Alvarez. Because men lie, women lie, but the facts don't lie.